little bit with I-35. We'll go ahead and talk about that if you would like. Because our position on that, and with your permission, I'll go ahead and drop down to item number 8, since that's kind of
Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah. And what this is all about Blue Cross not paying us. We went through and we, we've analyzed it. We've had a couple of full months of complete billing information so that we know that, where the billing issues are. We've gone back and we looked at all of our payors, and Blue Cross on therapy, Blue Cross is the one that's not paying us. It's technically not correct. We're not receiving any payment for them, but they're requesting medical records for all of the claims. Even if they paid part of the claim on the front end as continuing service, they're requesting records on the back end. So they're requesting records and not paying, so we're not receiving any payments from them. So as a result of that, I mean, they're our big payor. As a result of that, our overhead, for all of these therapies exceeding our cost. So there's so much fixed costs. You got fixed rent, you got management fees, and you've got therapy employee fees. So as a result of that, we've looked at it and we talked with I-35, and we're asking y'all to discontinue these contracts to give them if you recall, when we started the whole discussion, one of the things that we wanted to do is get a very short notice time in there just for this very issue, and it has come to pass. I-35 is very receptive of this. They've gone back to the owners, talked with them. They understand, what the issue is. So our recommendation is that we cease these, I think there's 6 of them here. We've already canceled a contract. There's 7 of them here. We've already contracted 6. We canceled one other last time, so 7 all. And that'll leave us then with 3 therapy centers. There'll be Cleburne, Aledo, and Weatherford. That'll be the 3 that we'll suggest that we keep. And a little bit to answer your question then, one of the issues that's been raised is that for Medicare, for some services, there's a 35-mile restriction on hospital-based providers. That's what we are. There is no such restriction for therapy, but it is, I guess it's been a bone of contention with some of the insurance payers. So all of these are outside the 35-mile range. Aledo, Weatherford, and Cleveland are all within the 35 as the crow flies. We've measured. So we're going to suggest that we keep those, even though we'll have to absorb some overhead. But that then gives us a better opportunity of going back to the insurance payers, going back to Blue Cross and say, okay, we're only operating HOPDs that are within the 35-mile range, and they're definitely in our service area. So that, once we get this out of the way, we think that we have a little better opportunity to go back to Blue Cross and say, hey, we got rid of all of them over 35 miles. Now we want to talk seriously about you paying us for these. So we'll see what it takes. That's part of our theory in keeping the 3. Cleveland made sense because we've got a radiology, HOPD over there, but then the other 2 are within our 35-mile range. So that's our recommendation, is that we give notice on July the 1st, that effective August the 1st, we'll no longer have a partnership with I-35 for these facilities. In provision then, there is a provision that any cash that comes in there, we share with I-35 on a 50-50 basis. So there won't be any fees, won't be any, the revenue is generated under their management. So any cash collected will be shared 50-50. We get 50% of it, and they get 50% of it for their collection activity and for the management oversight that they gave during the period the contract was in effect. Did I answer your question? Trying to decide, I guess, partly with our attorney, how is our best approach to go back to Blue Cross? That's the biggie. Is how is our best approach to go? And that's kind of our position right now. Okay, we'll get what we think. We talked with Kevin Reed. We've got the criteria for an HOPD, which includes 35 miles. We put that in. and we've got that put together for every location, then we'll be able to go back to Blue Cross and say, okay, here's our documentation. We think we're legitimate HOPD for these 3 locations to pay us. The other thing is that they're not paying us for our therapy here right now. So they're all outpatient therapy is on, we're generating good revenue, and like the lab, we truly believe that we're going to get paid for it. It's just a matter of whenever we negotiate.
So I guess what I was thinking is there's 2 different issues. Even though Blue Cross Blue Shield is tied to them, they want us to sign a different contract, which I would not be inclined to do while we have the potential of renegotiating the torch. I guess I see that as a separate issue from how do we get paid under our current contract.
It is.
Right? I mean, I guess, because I wouldn't be in a hurry to renegotiate anything for a new contract while we wait for the torch situation to work itself out. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but.
And even if we were required to do that, we would want to sign a very short contract, a 1-year contract with Blue Cross with the expectation that we would then partner with the Torch Hospital.
So that's one of the main questions is going to be which insurance do you start out with? And Blue Cross has only negotiated about half of the hospitals currently. They're working their way through all of them, but rural hospitals are only about half, was the last survey we saw through Torch. So half the people still have a good contract, where, say, United, most all Texas hospitals have a bad United contract. They're not great. So when we start with United with that program, and then work our way into Blue Cross, it's going to be, we're early in, so it's going to be interesting to see how the dynamics of that unfold. So there's a lot of meetings taking place and a lot of strategy on.
Well, one of the values to the insurance companies of that contract is we have a statewide network, right? I mean, the geography covered is the biggest network geographically in the state.
Yeah.
And so that has value.
And that makes it, like you say, it makes it a little more valuable to some of those that want to, if somebody wants to take a share away from Blue Cross in the Texas market, that's a really good way to do it. I mean, if you sign a lucrative contract with those hospitals, then you can go out and advertise to the employees that you're.
Right. Doesn't matter where your employees work.
Yeah.
East Texas, West Texas, Panhandle, we've got you covered.
Yep.
That's a big deal to the employers.
So anyway, well, I guess our request to you on item 8 is that y'all take action to allow us to issue termination letters to these 6 entities. Issue the letters on July the 1st with a cancellation of contract effective August the 1st.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by Dr. Stephen Bassett. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Pam Parsons. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Okay, we got 6.